Hello everyone, we're going to start with conference number 13. Good afternoon. Hello to everyone that is watching us. This conference is really important. It's called Laws of Karma and Dharma. And today we are going to learn how to get to know these laws. Sorry. Ready. So let's start. The laws of karma and dharma are universal laws that they design everything that happens in our destiny. We can get to control and be aware of everything that is going to occur to us. If we awaken our conscience, we can change the mechanical laws of our destiny, the karmas that we have to face, and it's important to know these laws because by the knowledge of this of the functioning of these laws of karma and dharma, we can ease up our pain, release our difficulties, our hard circumstances, and we can pay with the law of love to transcend the obstacles that we are going to encounter in our spiritual work. So it's really fundamental to know these universal laws and to know how to apply them in order to awaken our conscience. So let's start. So the law of karma is a universal law charged by the objective justice or the divine justice. There is a court of karma in which we are judged according to the actions that we do in a human existence. So these laws of karma are charged by the divine justice, and we are going to be everything that we do, it's going to be observed by the lords of the divine justice, and they are going to be taking into account if we are acting with our ego or we are awakening our conscience in order to transcend this law of karma and act with the force of love, justice, and wisdom. This way we can transcend all the obstacles of this law of karma. So we are going to take a look at the different names that it has. The law of karma is called as the law of recurrence. Everything is going to happen again and again with its consequences. So for instance, if you have the defect of lust and you have had an affair in a human existence with someone at the age of 25 years, in the next existence, the recurrence is going to be the same action of the defect of lust that is going to take place at that same moment of your life. When you have 25 years, you're going to encounter that person that is going to move all that sensations, all the sexual attraction, all that feelings that produces the defect of lust, and you are going to want to be with that person and had an affair. So that is the law of recurrence. Everything is going to occur again in the different human existences with all the consequences of ego. So if you were going to go to a tavern at the age of 30 years and you were going to get drunk at that age, at the next human existence that you have, if you haven't got the chance to eliminate that defect, to awaken your conscience, you are going to be captured by the same mechanical law that is the recurrence. You're going to be drunk at a tavern at the age of 30 years again, because you haven't eliminated the defect of alcoholism. So that is the recurrence. Everything, every action, every feeling, every thought, every word that you pronounced in one of your existence, it is triggered by the force or the action of ego, and it's going to happen again if you don't eliminate the defect that causes that action or that event on your life. It is also known as the law of cause and effect. All actions, all events have their effect. So if you steal something, you're going to be stolen in order to learn from that law of cause and effect. If you lie to people, people are going to lie to you in order for you to put in the shoes of the others and learn from your psychological defect. If you flirt with someone, you betray your couple, you cheat your couple, well, you're going to be treasoned by your couple as well, and your couple is going to end up with someone else, for you to learn from the defect of adultery. So it's the laws of cause and effect. If you made someone suffer because of psychological defect, you're going to suffer because of that psychological defect as well, in order to feel the same way that you make that person felt. The law of talion, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Well, you can interpret that law of talion like a sort of revenge, but the law of talion is that you are paid with the same, as in the same way that you pay people. If you treat people in a wrong way, you mistreat them, you dislike people, you reject people, you're going to be put in their shoes as well. You're going to feel that force of rejection or being mistreated in order for you to be put in that person's shoes and feel what should that person be feeling when I mistreated him or her. So that's the law of talion. The law of equality is also a name for it, because what you give, you receive. If you plant a seed of love, and you do nice things for people, you're going to receive the same things. But if you mistreat people, if you are violent, are rude, you insult people, you're going to be put in those people's shoes, and you're going to feel that defect of being insulted or being mistreated as well. So we're going to explain in detail what is karma and what is dharma. So karma is what we owe or what we have to pay for the bad deeds we do when we let our ego manifest. So if we let a psychological defect manifest, like for instance anger, hate, the ego of insulting, of exploding in an anger circumstance, well, you're going to have a consequence for that. You are going to have a bad relationship with that person. You're going to suffer because you're no longer going to maintain that good relationship with the person. When you need to be supported by that person, you're no longer going to have that person by your side because you hurt him or her. So when you, for instance, let the defect of lust manifest, and you have mistreated many people, you have broken the heart of many people, you have people felt in love with you, conquered many people, and had many couples, because of the defect of lust or adultery, well, you're going to be put in someone's in the shoes of those persons, of those people. When you really fall in love with someone, you're going to be cheated. You're going to be mistreated. You're going to be changed by someone else, another prototype of beauty, for you to feel what that those people that you had as a couple felt. that you abandon them, that you just use them for a moment of pleasure, and that is karma. So you need to be in the person's shoes and learn from the defect that you have inside of you. But when things happen to you, you don't see them as bad. When you mistreat people, you don't see it as bad as when people mistreat you, because you tend to camouflage, uh, do a sort of camouflage with your own defects. You think you're perfect, you think you always act in a good way. By the force of personality, you say, I am a good citizen, I am a good couple, I am a good family member, I always act in a good way. But that force of personality, that you think you're perfect and you put that mask of perfect human being, you don't get used to see your inner darkness and the way you have mistreated people many ways. That produces karma. So we always think that we are victims, that we haven't done anything bad. We are put in difficult circumstances, and we face obstacles in our life that is totally unfair. We are victims, we are innocent, and we don't get to see that is simply the force of the law of karma. We are going to be put on the shoes of people that we have mistreated when we let a psychological defect manifest. For instance, if you go to a store and you have a defect of stealing, of being kind of thief, you received the change for the thing that you buy in the store, and you receive more money than it has to be. And there is a defect inside of you that says, oh, it's good for me, I'm going to have more money. The person that is attending me didn't notice that he gave me more money. I am winning here. I'm going to have a little bit more money, and I'm going to be quiet and don't say anything about this. Well, that is a psychological defect, a detail of the ego of theft, of being thief. But if you don't see it as a bad thing, you underestimate the force of that ego, you are going to be put on the person's shoes, and you're going to be stolen. That way you can get to meditate and reflect on what you have done, taking money that wasn't yours. And what's Dharma? Dharma, unlike karma, is the opposite, is the money, the cosmic money that you receive when you let your conscience manifest instead of your ego. That is the good things that you do to help people, to just acting in a conscious way, eliminating your defects, meditating, reflecting, and letting your conscience act in the moment that you are in. In the present, you're going to exercise the faculty of the self-observation, of the concentration, and you're going to let justice, wisdom, and love, that are superior forces, manifest through you. And you are going to have that support of the divine law, that force, in order for you to have the circumstances and the events of your life there to help you in any moment that you need support of the divine law. So the karma that we have to pay in order to self-realize our being is the karma of the 7 last existences. And we are given time to pay karma, but there is no karma that is not paid. There is no time that doesn't finish. So the time that we have to pay our karmas before that we have to pay with pain isn't infinite. So we have to be aware that if we don't eliminate the defect that is causing us karma, where we are going to pay with a lot of suffering and a lot of pain, because we are going to suffer the consequence of our ego. If we hurt people, we are going to be hurt. In order for us to learn in a mechanical way through pleasure and pain, how to be aware of what's happening in our inner world, how to look uh, inside of our microcosmos and be aware of those monstrous creations that we have inside of us, that are our lust, our hate, our envy, our pride, our greed, all of those egos that are forcing us to act with the force of hate, ignorance, and injustice. So, and the Dharma, we accumulate the Dharma of many existences, unlike the karma. It is stolen in a little jar in the court of the divine law, and we can transfer the Dharma in order to have that support of the divine law for any circumstances in our life. So the Dharma, that is that cosmic money or that help that we receive from the lords of the divine justice in order for our circumstances to be solved. We can accumulate it from many existences, and we need to be aware that we can use it and transfer that Dharma from the bank of Dharma to the bank of karma, and solve any circumstance, any difficult circumstance that we are living, and we can negotiate with the divine law in order to be paying with love instead of with pain, with understanding, with meditation, with reflection, with our help to mankind. We can solve that karma and use our Dharma instead of paying with pain. So we are going to talk about the court of karma. At the world of the 48 laws, we find the master Anubis and his 42 judges who manage the 48 laws of the physical world, represented on each one of the cells of the human body and the 48 chromosomes. So that is the court of karma that we have in our sexual center. There are many courts of karma in each one of the centers of our human machine, and we can accumulate Dharma or karma for our feelings, our thoughts, our emotions, everything that we do with our energy. If we are saving our energy and we are awakening our conscience, we are generating Dharma, instead of when we are letting our ego manifest, we are generating karma. So this is the court of karma, and is the place where the laws of karma and Dharma are take place and are processed. So these universal laws are going to make us aware of what's happening, what is the consequence when we let our ego manifest, and how to solve it. Instead of paying with pain, we can pay our karmas in a conscious way, being aware of the defect that is generating that karma, and paying that karma with Dharma. So what produces karma? Our actions, our words, and our omissions. So the actions are just a consequences of our feelings and our thoughts. Everything that we feel, that we think, it's sooner or later translated into actions. For instance, if you dislike someone and you are always criticizing in your inner world, that person is totally hateful, I dislike that person is full of envy, pride, I totally not want to be close to that person, and you're always feeling rejection towards that person in your inner world. You're thinking and feeling bad things towards him or her. Sooner or later, those feelings and thoughts are going to be translated into actions of your ego. And those actions produce a lot of karma because they are affecting directly that person. For instance, if you insult that person that you dislike or you hit the person, you're letting your egos of violence, of hate manifest. You are producing directly karma because you are affecting the integrity of that person and your relationship with the person. When you criticize, when you calumny someone, that produces a lot of karma because the consequences of our words. For instance, if you are at work and you're talking with your colleagues or your boss and you criticize a partner, and because of that criticism or that calumny, that person, that colleague loses his job. That is something that is going to affect the 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 equilibrium of the life of that person. If he or her doesn't have a job anymore because something that you said that was totally negative, so he is going to be in an economical crisis. So you're going to be put in that person's shoes and you are going to lose your job as well. You're going to be in an economical crisis in order for you to understand what criticism can cause in someone's life, what a bad word, calumny can cause as a consequence in someone's life. And when you act with omission, for instance, a person that needs help talks to you, hey, I need someone that supports me with this, and you meditate and you say, oh, well, you didn't meditate well. You just acted with the force of, that is not my problem. Go solve your own problems. And you acted with omission. In that moment, you really needed to help that person in order for the person to solve their circumstances. And he needed just a little bit of support in order to come out of that crisis. If you acted with omission, you totally affected the equilibrium and the balance of that person's life, and that had like fatal consequences that can happen. For instance, there are people that are going to take away their lives. That are in a moment of emotional crisis, and if you don't give a little bit of support and care a little bit for them, well, that person can take the bad choice of taking away his life for that moment of emotional crisis. And so you have to be awakening your conscience, meditating, reflecting on everything that you do or you say or you omit, because it can have really serious consequences in people's life. So also there are really different types of karma that you need to study, because these types of karma, we can see them, we can really experience them in our particular circumstances or in our society. As you can see, there is individual karma, that is the karma that we owe for a defect, that is our defect, only our personal defect. For instance, if I have the defect of pornography and I am really lascivious, I have sexual tension that is repressed, totally with anxious and mechanical imagination of just morbid situations, and well, the concept of sex as something really degenerating, and not valuing the sexual energy as a way to awaken love. So that is my karma, that defect of lasciviousness. I need to pay the karma for that defect. It's my karma. no one else's. So there is also family karma, that are karmas that affect a group of family, people that are related between each other. For instance, all people in my family suffer from the disease of diabetes. There is a defect that is generating that um, sickness in the physical body, and all the people are gathered together to charge that karma. Or a family karma can be an economical crisis. Let's say the father of that family is feeding the psychological defect of alcoholism, and he doesn't have money to provide for their kids, for the sustaining of the family, because of the defect of alcoholism. It turns out that in another existence, all people in that family were related with the defect of alcoholism and generated karma for that defect. So they are collected together in that family circle to pay for that karma of economical crisis. The collective karma, it's when people that are not related between each other. For instance, we are going to travel in a bus or in an airplane with people that we don't know, and that bus collides, has an accident. So that is the collective karma, that people that don't know each other are going to be paying that karma of physical death or something like that, to pay for something that they did in a past existence. The regional karma, it's the group of people that inhabit a region that need to face a karma. For instance, a natural disease, an earthquake, a flooding, something that affects the region, because in the past lives or in this life they did something that affected the whole region, like polluting the water, contaminating. So national karma, dictatorships, well, when they suffer from national wars, or politicians that are really tyrant with people that live in that nation. Well, it's because we were feeding that psychological defect of being tyrant, being oppressive, being dictatorship with people. We didn't respected the free will of everyone, and so we are paying from that national karma. Or for instance, we were corrupted politicians in a past existence. We have to face that national karma of corruption. So the continental karma can be something that affects the whole continent, a natural disaster, poverty, being in a oppressive circumstances as well, in the politics, in pandemic situations, sickness that affect the whole continent. They are caused by the things that people did in a past life or in this life that relate the whole people that live in that place. The world karma is when we did something that affected the equilibrium of our world, polluting, contaminating, destroying, generating wars, generating nuclear disasters. Well, all of that affects the equilibrium of our environment. And when we did when we fed defects in this or past lives, in order to affect the equilibrium of the world and the life of people and all the creatures that inhabited the planet, so we need to pay for that world karma. Specifically, the planetary karma, that is the collision of a comet, the collision of an asteroid, something that is going to happen that affects the equilibrium of the whole planet. uh, well, those are heavier karmas that sometimes we don't know and we don't understand why we are paying them, but those are changes that are going to happen in order for the divine justice to um, well, ascend another level of conscience or make people develop uh, a level of superior conscience for a really big crisis that people have to face. The karma saya are the karma for the coitus or the sexual relationships that people have had with people with other person that is not their couple. For instance, we have an only one couple that is going to be the one who develops fidelity, chastity, and love in order to work with our sexual creative energy and create the superior existential bodies for our being. But if we just were feeding the defect of lust and adultery and we didn't care to create love in sex, but we use the sexual practices just to have fun, entertain ourselves, feel a lot of pleasure with different prototypes of beauty. So we had sex with many people just for having fun and pleasure, and we didn't care about the fidelity or the chastity of the or the force of love, and that is generating karma saya because we are adulterating, we are having sex with someone that is not our couple. So let's say in this existence you had like 10 different sexual couples and you had sexual relationships with 10 different people, so you need to pay for that karma saya. You need to well, suffer from that karma. That is the next karma that we are going to talk about. Karma saya generates the karma yoga. The karma yoga, it's when you have to remain lonely a lot of time because you had sex or you had a sexual relationship with someone that wasn't your couple. So you had to pay a long time of solitude, being alone, having no couple, losing the real couple that you had in order to work for the self-realization, to ascend the fire of the kundalini. You need that stable couple of your opposite sex. But karma yoga is losing that couple. For instance, that person who you are working in suprasex commits adultery, so you lose your couple, or that person faces physical death, so you lose your couple and you remain lonely many years. That is karma's yoga, and that is for having committed karma saya. That is having that coitus with many people, not caring for fidelity, chastity, and love, and your sexual energy. And the hard karma. The hard karma, it's the karma that you have to face for the crimes against Holy Spirit. The crimes against your Holy Spirit are the ones that attempt towards the physical body that is the temple of your energy. For instance, that you you committed a karma in which you did something to destroy your physical body, consume drugs, consumed birth control pills in order to, well, avoid getting pregnant, but you destroy that physical temple of your physical body. That generates hard karma because that is attempting towards the temple of your energy, that is the physical body. So those crimes against the Holy Spirit, like being castrated, those are karma because you're attempting towards your sexual apparatus and you're mutilating that sexual apparatus. So that is a crime against your Holy Spirit, and that generates hard karma. That is karma that is only going to be paid with pain, not negotiable. you have to pay it only with pain. And the karma katansya, that is the karma for the gods, the gods that committed an action in order to help mankind. They have to pay that karma. For instance, there were gods that gave the level of wisdom to this planet. They made that people developed this second nature, that is wisdom of evil, that is creating ego in order to extract that wisdom of evil. But for that generating of the second nature, those gods had to pay a karma, because before people generated the force of ego, that obscurity, that evilness that we have inside in order to extract wisdom. We were totally innocent. We were connected with our with our being, with our the 100% of our conscience, but we had to be disconnected from that in order to create ego. And gods, some gods of a certain part of this universe created that second nature, that is wisdom of evil, in order for us to reach a higher level of conscience, to extract that light out of darkness. But that was a good thing that they did in order for us to reach a higher level of conscience. But as we generate a higher level of conscience, we can also reach a bottom and do unspeakable things with our ego as well. So we generate those gods committed that action, but they generated karma for that action as well. They had to pay for all wars, first global world of this planet, the second global war. They have to pay all those karmas, all those crimes. They have to pay the karma of us generating the defects of fornication, contaminating our seminal envelope. All of that suffering and pain, they have to pay it. But they needed to do that in order for us to reach a higher level of conscience, extracting the wisdom of our ego. If we didn't have ego, if we were totally innocent, as Adam and Eve from paradise, we haven't gotten to reach a higher level of conscience. That is that work that we need to do for awakening our conscience. So, the ways to pay karma. Let's talk about the practices that we can do in order to solve our difficult situations, our circumstances. What can we do? What practices of awakening our conscience can we follow in order to pay the karma with love and avoid paying it with pain? With cosmic money or Dharma, that is a way that we can pay it. With negotiable pain, that is, for instance, that you're shown in an astral projection that you have a karma that you need to pay. A disease, for instance, that you need to be suffering a lot of pain for being sick from your sugar levels or your cholesterol levels, whatever sickness of your physical body. But you are shown in the astral projection that you can negotiate it. For instance, that you can help someone, give this valuable and pure knowledge to someone, and you can, with that force of love, negotiate that pain, and you are given strength in order to overcome that disease. So that is negotiable pain, that you can negotiate it. Sometimes you can do it, you can negotiate, and you don't want to. In the astral projection, you are shown that you need to go to that country, or you need to give this knowledge to these people that are living in this place, and you don't do it. So you prefer to pay sometimes with pain instead of negotiating that karma of your physical body. With non-negotiable pain, that is the hard karma, the crimes that you committed to attempt to the Holy Spirit, that is the temple of your energy, your physical body, that you have to pay it only with pain. You cannot negotiate that. Just you are going to be suffering that pain. You can ask for strength, but you need to suffer from that disease or that condition, and there is no way you can come out of that. You have to pay with pain. With charity, is helping people, being there for someone that needs your support in any circumstances, economical, emotional circumstances. So you help that person with a defect that the person has, for instance, alcoholism, drugs, or an emotional crisis that a person has, for instance, with being overcoming an emotional crisis because of the losing of his couple. So you help that person, you talk to that person, and you give him strength in order to overcome that situation. Also, you can give him this pure knowledge in order to apply the techniques and eliminating his egos or her egos, and you help that person in different ways, not only with these tools, but you can help him with just support, with being there and helping, serving mankind with objectives, business with the laws. That is a practice that we do in order to propose a compromise. I am going to compromise with this work in order to being helped with this. For instance, I am suffering a disease, and I need to come out of that in order to be able to have the strength in order to awaken my conscience, keep meditating, keep doing the practices of sexual transmutation. So I do a business, an objective business. I am going to say to the masters of the divine law, I beg you to help me with this disease of my physical body. In exchange, I'm going to commit myself to help people in this region, in this part of the world. I'm going to give them this pure knowledge in order for them to eliminate their ego and awaken their conscience. So you do the negotiation, and in the astral projection, you ask if that negotiation is enough to pay for your physical disease. They can tell you in the astral projection that it was enough, that this way to pay is enough in order to release you from that disease, or they can say no, you need to commit with something bigger to pay for that karma, because it doesn't it is not enough to pay for that karma. So you need to commit with something else in that case. So those are the practices of negotiation. So we are going to explain in detail the practices of transfer of funds. This practice of transfer of funds, it's going to help you to have at your disposition the Dharma that you need to solve any situation of your daily life, any circumstance or difficult event that you have. This transfer of funds, you're going to imagine that here in the bank of Dharma, that you have the cosmic money, a lot of richness, and that you are going to move that to the bank of karma, and you're going to pay for that debt. For instance, that you need to overcome a disease in order to have the strength to help mankind and keep mm, helping people. So you need to move the Dharma from the bank of Dharma to the bank of Karma in order to have that cosmic money of that support from the divine law to heal your body. Uh, and you have that Dharma at your disposition. This is the practice of transfer of funds. So, first of all, you're going to uh, lower your arm, your well, as it's difficult to explain it, I'm going to try to explain it with this image. But if you need to understand the practice better, I can provide you, different material in which you can see people doing the practice in order for you to understand better. But okay, I'm going to try to explain with this image. First of all, you lower your left arm 45 degrees and you raise this arm, the right arm 45 degrees. And while you do this movement, you are going to pronounce these mantras. The mantra Ni in the higher emotional center, the mantra Ne in the motor center, the mantra No at the height of your heart, your lower intellectual center, the mantra Nu at the height of your belly button, that is your lower emotional center, and the mantra Na at the height of your sacrum bone, that is your instinctive center. So you are going to concentrate on those places in your physical body, those centers of the human machine, while you pronounce this mantra, and you do the movement of your arms in order to transfer. While you do those mantras and those movements of your arm, you're going to imagine that you are a balance and you are moving the Dharma from the bank of Dharma to the bank of Karma. So this is the movement. Ni, ne, no, nu, na. You do this moving your arms, your left arm, lowering and raising your right arm, and then doing it each center by center. So I'm going to show it. I don't know if you can see my body enough. Ni, ne, no, nu, na. That way you complete one time, but you have to do it 9 times. And when you complete the 9 times, you are going to close your arms over your chest like this with the mantra Torn, your right arm over your left arm. So to finish the practice, cross your arms over your chest, the right over the left, while pronouncing the mantra Torn, lengthening each sound. Torn. That is the practice of transfer of funds. If you need complementary material in order to do the practice, I'm going to give you videos in which you can see people, you can see the whole body while they do the practice. So the practice of business with the law. This is another practice that in which we are going to commit to do a compromise in order to pay for a karma. For instance, that I am going to compromise to give knowledge to people in my neighborhood in order to pay for this karma of physical sickness of my body, and I'm going to negotiate with the divine law divine law, Master Anubis, and its 42 judges. Uh, I I ask you humbly to help me with this karma of my physical body. I am going to commit myself to give knowledge to these people in my neighborhood, and I want to see the results of this negotiation in the astral world. So you ask for that, and you are aware of what's happening in the astral projection. If Master Anubis tells you that is enough to pay for that karma, or if you need to commit with something bigger. So you can also do this practice not only for coming out of a karma that is really an obstacle for your spiritual advance, but you can also do the practice for asking just for strength to work in the three factors of the revolution of the conscience, just asking for strength, for support of the divine law. So this is an example. You can say it in this way. My Father, my Lord, my God, I ask you if it's your will to go to the temple of the heart of the divine justice. Once there, negotiate with the venerable Master Anubis and his 42 judges in order to, and you propose your negotiation example, to receive strength for spiritual birth, psychological death, and sacrifice for humanity. Or if you don't say that, well, you propose the business that you want to propose, and you lie down on the floor with the arms in a cross, forming a cross, both arms extended, the palms facing up, and you repeat the sentence, the prayer. My Father, my Lord, and my God, I ask you if it's your will to go to the temple of the heart of the divine justice. Once there, negotiate with Venerable Master Anubis and his 42 judges to receive strength for spiritual birth, psychological death, and sacrifice for humanity. In the second time, you're going to say the same, but you're going to sit down with palms facing up and your arms extended, forming a cross. My Father, my Lord, my God, I ask you if it's your will to go to the temple of the heart of the divine justice. Once there, negotiate with the venerable Master Anubis and his 42 judges to receive strength for spiritual birth, psychological death, and sacrifice for humanity. This is the second time. The third time, you're going to do it on the floor, lying down with the arms in the cross, palms facing up again. My Father, my Lord, and my God, I ask you if it's your will to go to the temple of the heart of the divine justice. Once there, negotiate with the venerable Master Anubis and his 42 judges to receive strength for spiritual birth, psychological death, and sacrifice for mankind. The fourth time, you're going to sit down with arms extended, palms facing up again. My Father, my Lord, my God, I ask you if it's your will to go to the temple of the heart of the objective justice. Once there, negotiate with Venerable Master Anubis and his 42 judges to receive strength for spiritual birth, psychological death, and sacrifice for humanity. And the same thing, the fifth time and the sixth time. The fifth time lying down, and the sixth time sitting down with the arms extended. When you finish the negotiation at the sixth time, sitting down with your arms extended, you are going to cross the arms, the right arm over the left arm, and close the negotiation with the mantra Aum, Aum, Aum. So, well, this was the conference of the laws of karma and dharma. Practice makes the master. You need to, apply the techniques of the psychological death in order to see the karmas that your egos have caused. And with these practices of negotiation with the divine law and the transfer of funds, well, you just need to verify, to practice, to do it, and to obtain your results in order to see for yourselves the result that it has. Sometimes you are going to experience that immediately. You do the transfer of funds for a specific situation, you reflect, you meditate, and you eliminate that ego that is causing that karma, and it's going to be immediate that you do that transfer of funds in order to pay the karma for that defect, and you are going to feel in that same time an immediate relief to your pain or your obstacle. So these practices, you need to try them in order to have your results and verifying for yourself. Don't let this keep as a theory. Don't let this conference remain as an idea, as a concept of or a theory. You need to verify it. You need to try it to see for yourselves the results that it has, the amazing results that you can have with those practices. And you need to accompany these practices, of course, with the elimination of your ego, because your egos are the ones that are causing the karma that you need to live in your life in order to learn from your mistakes. So this was the conference. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this moment for us, with us, in order to learn something different and that is going to help you for awakening your conscience. So I'm going to take a look at your comments to see if you have something to add or something to ask, any doubt. So Perry Simeon says, hello, beautiful souls. Wow, thanks you so much. Thanks to you for sharing this moment with us, and good luck with all your practices, and a lot of force and strength with these practices. I advise you to just try them and to verify the magnific results that they have in order for you to experience and developing the wisdom of your being. Have a good afternoon and see you in the next conference. Bye.